Go ahead.
My name is Gucia Gruby. I was born in Poland, Sierpc, S-I-E-R-P-C, in October 29 of 32.
Good. 1932, that's all right.
1932.
Okay, fine. Now tell me a little bit about your family. When you were growing up, can you tell me about did you have brothers or sisters?
Yes, I had 3 brothers. One brother, Victor, Sam, and Paul. And I had a mother and a father.
What kind of business was your father in?
My father was he had a seltzer factory.
Okay. So this was before the war. Did you go to school?
Yes, I went to school. I was in 3rd grade when the war started. I was in the 3rd grade.
Did you notice before the bad things started happening, did you notice any anti-Semitism as you were growing up or when you were going to school?
Well, when the war started in 39, the Germans came into our city, and the first thing I remember, they took my father out of the house, and he came back beaten. And a couple of days later, he came back beaten up, and he couldn't walk anymore. He was in bed. They beaten him up, and he came back to the house, and they said that you have to bring all the money or the jewelry, whatever, gold and everything to us, then we're going to release you. So he came back home, and he took whatever he had, money and everything, and took it to them, gave it to them, and then they did release him, yes. He was all beat up, he couldn't walk, he went right to bed, and that's how it started. Then a couple days later, they came into our house, and they got me and my brothers, 2 brothers, out of the bed, and I got beaten with one of those German sticks. I still remember I still have the hits on my back, how they beat me, and they threw me out of bed, and they said, "Los, out of the bed at night." It was still dark outside, and they threw us on the street, me and my 2 brothers.
How old were you at that time?
I was
about how old?
8, 9.
And your brothers?
And my brothers were older. They were 3-4 years older, each of them. My brother Sam, my brother Paul was 3 years older than I was, and my brother the other one was 4 years older than me, Sam, and we were thrown on the street. When we were thrown on the street, there were many people on the street with women, with children, with babies carrying on their arms, and they had orchestra in the front and orchestra in the back, and the Germans were on the sides with machine guns towards us, and we were on the street, And when they got hundreds of people together and they made us march, we were marching with orchestra, with music in the front, music in the back, and with the Gestapos on the sides with machine guns towards us. And they made us march all day. We were marching like this, and women were carrying babies. They couldn't walk. They dropped. So they machined them down right there. They shot them down. They killed them right there. And we were marching over them. Whoever survived marched over those dead bodies. And we were walking all day. They made us walk with no water, with nothing. And whoever survived, they took us when it got dark in the evening. They took us on a field, and they told us to lay down there. And me and my two brothers were laying down on that field with many others, whoever survived. All the others who were shot down, they were gone. And
these were mostly Jewish people.
All Jewish people. All Jewish people.
Where were your mother and father at this time?
My mother and my father. My father came back from jail that they beaten him up so badly that he couldn't walk. He had to go to bed.
How about your mother?
And my mother stayed with him. She didn't want to leave him. So she stayed with him while we were taken out of beds. And she said, well, my husband can go. He's sick. So she stayed with him. And we were, just me and my brothers were there. My other brother, the oldest brother got caught, and he walked out on the street, and they caught him and put him on a truck with a bunch of boys. And they took him to a river, and they shot him all into the river. They shot him down, my brother said, all of them. But my brother was a good swimmer, so he went under the water, and they thought they shot him too, but they didn't. He got away. And we did not, my mother did not see him. We did not know that he was alive till after the war. 5 years after the war, that's when we found out that we found him.
What happened to your other brother?
My other brothers were with me, where we were walked all day with those Gestapos towards us with the guns. They took us on a field with a lot of other people there. I don't remember how many there were, but whoever survived walking all day, we were on a field laying, and with the Gestapos with us, with the machine guns towards us, and my brother says, we've got to run, get away, because they're going to kill us. They're going to shoot us all down here. So this German was standing like this. So my brother says, we have to go through his legs. And he was standing like this with the machine guns towards us, with the guns. And my brother said, well, we got to take that chance. We've got to do it. Otherwise, they're going to kill us. They're going to shut all of us down.
Could you sit, please?
And we did. My brother took us in to do it. And we walked through their legs.
Wow.
We walked through one by one. My brother was first, and my other brother and I was the third, walking through his legs. And we made through. We ran away. And when we ran away, we ran to the woods. We started running to the woods. We were in pajamas, barefoot, and we ran into the woods And that's how we ran in the woods and we were hiding in the woods. This is what happened. This is how it started.
Yes.
This is how it started. This is what that's what I remember.
How were you able to live in the woods? How long were you living in the woods?
We were in the woods, living in the woods, hiding in the woods.
How long do you think you were hiding?
I don't remember, but we were running in the woods, hiding, because that's the only, trying to run away from the Germans, trying to run away from them. That we were afraid they're going to catch us. Then we ran to we found there, we went to a place that some Polish guy said that he's going to take us across the river. There was a river that was going to take us across the river, so my brother gave him the ring, whatever he had, to take us across the river. So you know what he did? He took us back to the Germans. He turned us into the Germans.
Oh.
The Polak turned us into the Germans. So now there we are again, and the Germans cut their hairs off. They put us in their pajamas, and they put us in a jail and closed us in there. And my brother again said, well, we're just going to have to do something to get out of here because they're going to kill us. They're going to kill us. So my brother again says we have to run out at night. We have to run out of there. And we did. He took us out of there. My brother, may he rest in peace, he just passed away a year ago. And he took me and my brother out of there, and we start running again. And we start running. We never trusted anymore any Polacks, because he took whatever we had. He gave it to him to take us across the river away from the Germans. He turned us into the Germans again. So we got away from we ran away from them. We got out somehow. Somehow my brother did it. I don't know how he did it. He did it. He got us out of there. And we start running again. And we start running back into the woods and hiding in the woods. And we were just hiding in the woods.
There were just two of you. You and your brother.
My brothers and me.
Your two brothers.
Yes,
okay.
Two my brothers. My brother Sam and my brother Paul.
Okay.
And we were hiding in the woods. We were hiding in the woods for quite a long time in pajamas and barefoot. We were eating blueberries. That's how we survived. Okay?
Very good.
And they were good. The blueberries in Russia, in the woods. I don't know where it was in the Russia. It wasn't out Russia, but it was in the woods. It wasn't Russia yet. But then, while we were sleeping at night in the woods, we heard a train. We heard a noise of a train. You know, you could hear in the woods, far away, a train, you could hear the noise. So we heard the noise of the woods, of the train in the woods. So as we were running in the train, and we heard the noise, when we heard the noise, we followed the the direction where the noise came from. My brother said he was very good at that. So he said, I heard the noise coming from here, so we have to, when you're in the woods, you don't know which way to go. So he followed the direction where he heard the noise, where the noise came from the woods, in the woods. So we followed the directions of the train where he heard. So we went that way, and we were walking and walking and walking and walking for, I don't remember how long, but we were walking until we seen a train coming. We seen a train. We got to a train. And so when we got to a train, we tried to get up on the train, get on the train. But the train was going fast through.
The train was moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
We could not get on it. So we had to keep walking, and we somehow, I don't know how, but somehow we found we got on a train, and we got on the train, and we started running on the train. And we didn't know where we were going, but we were going on the train. So
you were hoping that you were at least running away from the Nazis.
Yes, we were running away from the Germans. We tried to run away. Thank you very much, Robert. We were trying to run away from them. And what happened, that after we got the train took us back. Instead going the other way, we went the other way. We went back to where the Germans were.
Wow.
So somehow, I don't know if somehow we got off the train because we were afraid not to go back to them. We got off the train and we start running again in the woods and ran away the other way. And we didn't know which way to go. We were just trying to get away from the Germans, to get away because they were trying to kill us. We didn't know where my mother was, where my father was at that time anymore, because they were, and it was just, I don't remember exactly where we got off. The name of the city, I don't remember. Was it
a safe place when you did get off?
Well, we got off in a place that we went to a synagogue. Yes, that we were in a safe place because it was already a synagogue there in the city. Was it? I don't remember the name of the city.
Was it in Poland? What country was
it? It was.
You guys know.
No, but they did burn down the only synagogue in the show.
And we were laying there on the ground, and there were many Jewish people laying there who were trying to hide. And
still hiding from the Germans, even in the synagogue.
Yes, we were hiding from the Germans, right?
Was it in Poland?
It was not. I think it was not in Poland already. It was out of Poland. It was a little far away from Poland. But no, it was not Russia yet. We were not in Russia yet. We were not. We were maybe in Białystok or could be Białystok.
You were still in Poland.
Still in Poland.
Oh, it's still in Poland.
I guess you were still in Poland.
Białystok is Poland. I don't know. We were hiding somewhere in the temple, in the synagogue, laying on the floor, and we were just hiding there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember how we got out of there. I really don't remember how we got out of there. Yeah. But somehow we ran out of there and we start running again.
You were running in the right direction.
We didn't know what directions we were going, but we were going where most Jewish, whoever ran out, we tried to follow other people.
So there were a lot of Jewish people that were moving or running?
No, we didn't see many people. No, not many people, but just some of them, a few people, yes. A few people we've seen, but not many people that they were running because there were not many Jewish people survived. The most people, they were left behind. Like my mother had brothers and wife and children, and she used to beg him to come, run, get out of there because they're gonna kill you. And her brother says, "Why would they kill me? We didn't do anything to them. They're gonna put us to work, so we go to work. They won't kill us." Well, they did kill him. They put them all in there. They put them in the ovens, and they throw them in the ovens with shovels. And they got in the ghetto, and my cousin seen it with his own eyes, how they threw in his mother and father into the oven.
Adam Kelman's family.
Were you in the ghetto?
Yeah.
My cousin Adam Kelman survived. He ran away, and he got caught, and they got chopped his leg off, half of his leg off, foot, and but he survived.
But they made him watch his family be put in oven.
Yes, he ran out. He seen his own mother and father thrown in the oven, and his little brother or sister, whatever he had.
This is when they were in the concentration camp.
When they were in the concentration camp. I was not in the concentration, but I was in the ghetto, Warsaw ghetto. But my cousin told me after the war, after he survived, he told me what he went through. He told me the story of his life.
Your mother's family?
Yes, that's his mother.
What about your father's family?
I don't know much about my father's family, no. But then when we went to...
so how long were you in the Warsaw Ghetto, do you think?
And for
were you there
a year
when they
or
had the
two?
uprising, when their Warsaw Ghetto uprising?
From 40 to 40, 1939 to the war started in 39.
Yes.
From 40 to 41, I was in the Warsaw Ghetto, and then we got out at 41. By the end of 41.
And where did you go when you got out of the ghetto?
Where did we go from Warsaw Ghetto? We started running again. We ran to the woods. That's why we're hiding in the woods.
You were in the Warsaw Ghetto. Tell them what they marched you outside every day and shot the people in the line.
You see, I'm getting very confused already.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm getting...
You started in the ghetto, and then you started the running away. So.
Right. First you started in the ghetto, and they had the people in the ghetto, and they used to march them outside in the morning and shoot them. You used to go with your mother down every day. They had you in a line.
I'm ready. So I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm getting confused and nervous.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah,
But you survived. So you went back. Anyhow, you went back into the woods, which seemed to be a good place.
The only place to hide was in the woods.
And you stayed in the woods overnight?
We lived in the woods. Not one night. We lived there for days and weeks in the woods, hiding, because we were all afraid that they're going to get us. They after us, they're going to find us, because there were a lot of Polish people that they turned us in. There were a lot of Polish people, nice, but some of them were not good, not nice. They worked with the Germans, and they turned every Jew in
They were probably paid for that.
Right.
Paid for that.
Absolutely.
Terrible.
Yes, they must have gotten paid for it, and they turned every Jew in. So wherever they seen a Jew, they turned him in. So we were hiding in the woods until somehow, I don't know how we got out of there, how we...
Were you liberated? Maybe were you liberated when you were in the woods?
Liberated.
What army? What could have been the Russian army that liberated you?
Oh,
it wasn't the American army.
No, the Russian got a hold of got a hold of us, and the Russians, and they took us on a train. My mother later on came, and my father. They came. They found us, and they came to us.
Your mother and father found you?
Yes, they found us. After everybody there, they knew where everyone was.
Open your eyes.
I'm sorry.
What?
Go ahead.
Don't be sorry.
Okay, and my mother and father found us, and they took us on a train. The Russian registered everyone, whoever survived.
Would this been after the war?
No, during the war.
Still during the war.
During the war, I think there was in Białystok, or that they had you had to sign where you want to go. Do you want to go home back, or you want to go to Russia?
Okay.
And we registered we want to go to Russia. We don't want to go back to the Germans. So they put us on trains. The Russians put us on trains, and they sent us to Siberia.
Wow.
So we were on trains.
You went to Siberia with your mother and father and
with
brothers?
My father, mother, and my brothers, 2 brothers. We were sent to Siberia, and we were driving on this train for day and night, with closed up trains, and we had no...
Did they feed you?
Did
they feed you when you were on the train and traveling?
Every time the train stopped, we had water, and we had some bread and stuff like this. They gave us. Thank you very much, Robert. And we were going day and night on the train to Siberia.
Did you know where you were going?
No, we did not know where we were going.
You learned later.
We were going to Siberia. We went to Siberia, and we were driving day and night. I don't know. I don't remember how many days, how many nights we were driving. There were a long train with people, not only us. There were many people, many Jewish people on the train. And we were driving to Siberia, and when we came to Siberia, it was very, very cold, and we had no clothes. So the Russians did give us clothes. They gave us boots to put on because you couldn't go out. There was snow up to here, and we were put clothing, and they put us in a barracks, in little rooms we had, and that's why we stayed there in Siberia. My father everyone had to go to work. We all worked in Siberia. We all had to. My brother went in the woods and cut woods. Those heavy big woods was cutting sawn woods. And my father was doing that, and my brothers, and my mother was working in the kitchen, and I was helping my mother in the kitchen. We were cooking soup in big pots of soup. And every day we were getting a little bowl of soup for the day and 300 grams of bread a day per person. 300 grams. I don't know how much 300 gram bread is. A little piece of bread.
Yeah.
For the day, and that's what we lived on. On Siberia.
What did they give you to drink?
To drink water.
Water. Okay.
Lucky we get water.
Water and bread.
300 gram bread a day, and water, and a cup of soup. Each of us was getting a cup of soup.
The soup that you and your mother made?
Yes, that my mother and I helped my mother out. So every day we were going to that place where my mother worked and made the soup, and we were getting a cup of soup and a piece of bread, and that's how we lived on. But whatever, we survived.
How long were you in Siberia? Do you have
since the war, 1942 to 45, to the end of the war. And when the war ended, they said, well, the war ended, and we let you out. You free to go wherever you want to go. They took us back on trains. After the war ended, 45, they put us back on trains, and they took us back to, I think, to Russia, to closer to Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. I was in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, Tashkent.
It's in Russia.
Yes, in Russia. We were sent to Russia, to Tashkent. Chimkent.
Could you spell that one?
Chimkent.
Okay.
No, Chimkent. It's Uzbekistan, Chimkent.
Okay.
And that's where they took us back to Chimkent, and we were there for quite a years. We were there to 1940 when we came to what year did I came to America? 19 what?
Did they take you back to Poland from Russia?
When we came back from Russia, from Siberia.
From Siberia.
We went back to Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is still Russia.
Right. Yeah.
In Kazakhstan is Russia. So we were there in Uzbekistan, and then from Uzbekistan we were sent to Austria.
Ah.
We were in Austria in a camp Salzburg. We were sent to a camp Salzburg in Austria. All the survivors that survived from Siberia,
yes,
they sent to Austria, to Salzburg in a camp, and
it was a DP camp.
Correct.
Right? Yes.
A DP camp, and we were there with quite many more Jewish people in there in that camp, and we were there waiting to come to America, to be able to go to America, because my father, may he rest in peace, had daughters living in America that he sent before the war. He sent them to America because he was well enough. You had to pay for so much for each child to send to America. At those years, you were able to do that if you had the money to do it. And he did. He was a wealthy man. he paid for it, and they were grown children. They were not babies. They were grown children, grown daughters. So he had 4 daughters. He sent them one by one to America, and they all lived in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh.
So one of his daughters used to always say, my father was very religious. He would not, when came Passover, he would not eat bread even if he had to starve to death. He would not eat, he had to have matzah. So his daughter from America used to send, she knew that he was religious. He was like a rabbi, next to a rabbi. He was like a rabbi. He was very religious, and he was like a rabbi. So she used to send him matzah every Passover, packages of matzah, to make sure that he has matzah. Even to Russia, to Siberia, she used to send packages.
Wow.
Because he would not eat bread. He would just die he would not eat bread. So she sent him...
This was your father?
My father.
Yeah.
My father. She used to send him packages, matzah, to Siberia. And that's how he survived on the matzah.
And he did receive those packages?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And she used to send packages to Russia, wherever we were. She used to send packages, matzah, for every Passover, his daughter. And then when we were in Austria, in Salzburg, yeah, and she was trying to bring us out here. So she filled out papers, and she did everything possible to bring us out to America. Well, it took time. It took, I don't know how many years. But we came into America in what year did I came to America? 51?
From Austria.
From Austria.
From Austria to the United States.
To America, yes. We came, she brought us out to America from Austria, from Salzburg, to finally she got the papers, everything fixed, done, to get us out. And finally, we were able to leave, and she got us out. She got my father, my mother, and me, and my one brother, because my other brother was already left. He was gone. He was somewhere else. He was my brother Paul was with us, and my brother Sam was already somewhere else.
But you didn't know where he was?
No. He wasn't with us at that time. So she brought me out, and my father, and my mother, and my brother Paul. He came with us to San Antonio, Texas. So we came to San Antonio, Texas, all of us, not all of us, but my other brother was somewhere, he was in another state. Paul, Sam.
Well, your mother's family, the rest of her family. What happened to the rest of your mother's family?
My mother's family?
Yeah.
My mother's family got all killed in Germany. Her brothers, his wives and children, they all got killed. They all killed them. They got them. They put them in the oven. They just killed them all.
And your father's family, you don't know much about your father's family?
I don't know much about my father's family. My father's family, I don't really know, because his wife passed away, and he remarried my mother. He married his daughter that brought us out here, was my mother's girlfriend. So she brought us out here, and she was my mother's girlfriend that brought us to America. And
Victor. You forgot Victor.
I think that was 1951, maybe.
Victor is the one that disappeared. That we found him after the war.
Her oldest brother.
The oldest brother,
Her older brother.
My oldest brother, Victor, that the Germans got him and took him to the river. He walked out on the street and he never came back. And my mother was screaming, crying, looking everywhere, and many mothers, and all the sons were gone, disappeared. What did they do to them? They grabbed him on a truck, and they took him to a river, and they machined them down in the river. And they all fell in dead bodies into the river. And my brother happened to be a good swimmer. And that's why he survived. He went under the water and swam under the water away, and they thought they killed him too, but they didn't. He got away.
That was it.
So he just ran away, and he was at that time, 16, 17 years old. And he ran away, and he was, during the whole war.
He was on his own, running.
On his own, yes. He ran away, and somehow he survived. After the war, we found him.
Where did you find him?
We found him after the war because they used to have signs with names who survived.
On the DP camp.
Yes, they had signs of names that you looked for: daughters, sons, fathers, mothers. Who survived? They had all the names on. So we found his name there. And that's how we found my brother.
Wow.
After the war, we found him. And then we came to America. We came, my sister, my father's daughter, brought us down to San Antonio, Texas. And she shared her home with us. She was really, really nice. May she rest in peace. She was a really good human being. We came to America by ship, and we came to, what's the name of the city? We came to New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yes, we came to New Orleans by ship, and his daughter came, with her husband, came to pick us up by a car. She came to pick us up, and she picked us up from the ship, and she took us in the car, and then we stayed in a hotel overnight. And from joy, I'll never forget that, Robert. As long as I live, I've never slept in a bed till I came to America. Wow. In New Orleans, the first night we stayed in a hotel, and from joy, I jumped all night on that bed. I did not sleep. I was so happy. I said, "Oh my God, I'm in a bed." Well, I've never seen a bed. I never been in a bed for all those years. From joy, I was so happy. I jumped all night in that bed from joy, and we slept over the night, stayed over the night, and then in the morning we got in the car. My father's daughter took us in the car again, and we drove to San Antonio, Texas. We drove to San Antonio, Texas, and we stayed with her in her house. She shared her home with us. She was just wonderful. May she rest in peace. She was a wonderful human being, and her husband, both of them.
But see, they were not related to your family?
Yes, she was a daughter to stepsister.
Oh, okay.
She was a half-sister.
Not a stepsister, a half-sister. It was her father's daughter.
My father's daughter.
4 daughters in his first marriage.
Your father's daughter. Oh, wait, I didn't get that. First
marriage, he had 4 daughters. And when his wife passed away, he married one of his daughters.
Get you in here.
Yeah, and
he married his daughter's best friend. Okay?
Oh.
So
Hey, this is interesting.
Right.
Yes.
It's a very interesting situation.
Hey, you ought to scoot up here and...
Well, basically what happened is...
Get real close to it.
Right. Okay. After, okay, so, her father had a wife with 4 daughters, okay, in his first marriage. When his wife passed away, he remarried his daughter's best friend, whose name was, do you remember her name, Mom? But it was her mother.
Hannah.
Hannah, that's what I thought. Hannah Polinsky was Malka, which was
my mother.
My grandma and her mother, Malka Gruby's best friend.
I didn't get this.
Now,
the reason why she doesn't know much about
her father, her father, who was a wealthy man, was able to get all 4 of his daughters, including Hannah, out of the country before the war started. So after the war, this daughter Hannah, who was Malka, her mother's best friend, she took care of all the arrangements to get them back to the United States.
Right.
And you can go from there.
Right. And she got us out.
Sarah, do you have anything to add? I got to get you in here, too.
The important thing
why don't you sit up here?
We can sit together.
Here, so you can sit up on this one.
I'll sit here.
Or you can sit together.
The reason that she doesn't know much about her father's siblings...
Wait, let me twist the camera around here a little.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
I did...
It's okay.
Half of it I didn't do. Half of it.
You're wonderful.
Half of it I didn't. I missed half of it. I can.
No, you're wonderful. You did good. Okay, now let's hear everything you can think of.
My mother's father's name was Herman.
Hellman.
Hellman Gruby.
Like the mayonnaise.
Like the mayonnaise. And Hellman was quite a bit older than my grandmother Malka. And it was pretty much an arranged marriage. He was about...
Your grandmother was Malka?
Yes, Malka Gruby. And Malka Gruby is Gucha Gruby's mother. And she married Hellman Gruby. And he was about 30 years older than her.
20 years.
Closer to 30. And
arranged marriage?
Arranged marriage. She was in love with a guy who made bagels, a baker. But her mother told her she's marrying Hellman, and so she had to marry Hellman, and she married Hellman. He was a very wealthy man. He had his wife passed away. He had 4 daughters. So she listened to her mother, and she married Hellman. And he was a very wealthy man, and they went on to have 4 more children, my mother and her 3 brothers.
And he had a good marriage.
And he had a good life until the Germans came, and he wound up becoming losing everything.
And they had a nice home and business, a beautiful home.
This was all in Scherps, Poland.
And one,
he was in he had a seltzer factory.
Say again?
Seltzer, like the bottles of soda, like the
soda.
Yeah, the
soda.
Water, the carbonated water. Right. Uh-huh.
And he was a very wealthy man. And her mother told her to marry the businessman instead of the baker. So she listened to her mother, and she married Hellman. And that's how she wound up with an older father. Therefore, his family, his parents, and his siblings, she doesn't know much about them. I don't know whether they were alive or not during the war.
Tell them about how your mom buried the possessions and came back.
And there's...
Yeah, but it's crazy because one time, before my mother got out of, she knew that they come and getting her out from home, so she buried in her money in whatever she owned and gold. She buried in the ground.
Some of it in the seam of the dress.
In the backyard somewhere. And so one day she decided to go back. This is still during the war while we were still there. She decided to go back to get it out. So some Polacks turned her in to the Germans, and the German came and got her. And he says, "What are you doing here?" And he put her he put her to the wall, and with a gun. And he says, "Why are you here? You know you're not supposed to be here." and she wouldn't tell him that she came back to get the money out of that home that she put it in the grave.
Well, what year would that have been?
And this is still during the war. I'm going backwards now.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, but I just thought about it.
We could put all these
So the
pictures
German-
together later, maybe to edit.
So what are you saying? That she buried all of this before when the war was
when
getting
the war broke out,
started,
and she went back
and
to get
later,
it.
many years later.
No, not many years
How
later.
many years later?
She went back.
I knew the Nazis were coming.
Still when the Germans were there, and the German,
Mother.
Paula called her in, turned her in, that the Jews came back, that the German got her, he put her up to the wall with a machine gun, and he says, "Why are you here? Don't you know you're not supposed to be here? Why are you here?" And he said, "What do you want to say?" She spoke a very good German, my mother, may she rest in peace. So she begged him in German not to kill her, that she's got children, little children, that they need her, and don't. And he somehow,
never come back.
whatever she said, she must have said the right things, because he felt he had mercy for her, and he let her go. And he said, "Go, run, and don't ever come back. Don't look back," he said, "don't come back." And he let her go. He didn't kill her.
Lucky.
Yeah, and that's how she survived.
But did she ever go back to get the
No,
money?
Never.
Oh, she never did.
she never did.
Went back, any of them.
She was afraid.
Boy. Yeah, but
Never.
you would think that many, many years later she would come back.
You know what? After the war, my father, may he rest in peace, said to my brothers, "I want to go back to see where everything is. Where is my everything gone? I want to see everything. I want to see what's happened."
Yeah.
So my brother says, "No, we're not going back. We are not going back. I don't care. We're not going back." But
I knew there was a possibility that if they did go back, that they might find the money. Maybe.
But my father convinced my mother and that we're gonna go back, and my mother said we got to go back. My father he's got to go back. He's got to
factory and
he's got to go back.
Wow.
So we did. We all went back to Sheriff.
What year would that have
After
been?
the war, 1945, when the war ended, we went back because my father insisted.
But your brothers did not want to go back.
No, but they had to go. They had to listen to the parents, whatever the parents said.
You mean your brother listened to the parents?
Yes,
Not
yes,
like
days
today.
like that, where kids actually listen to the parents.
Yeah, we went back to Poland to Sheriff's, and when we went back, all the Polish people were surrounded us. We were in the middle with all this, in the city, on the street.
They did not want to hurt you.
They said to us, I will never forget that. They said, "Gucia, ty jeszcze żyjesz?" That means, "Gucia, ty jeszcze żyjesz? You still alive?"
Yes, they were surprised.
Where did you come from? How did you survive? I'll never forget those words.
What did you tell them?
What did I tell? I'm here.
You were like a ghost.
I mean, are you still alive? And after what they surrounded us, we were petrified. We were so petrified that we went through all that during the war, and we survived, and they going to kill us. They're going to kill us now.
Did they take your homes?
Yeah.
They took everything away from us. They took everything away, and we ain't got nothing anyway. And my brother says, Sam, may he rest in peace, he said, "We getting out of here. I don't want nothing. We getting out of here." We getting out of here. They're going to kill us.
So that could have been your neighbors that did not want you back.
Right.
They were shocked. They were shocked that we still alive. How did they wanted to know the details? How did we survive?
Did you tell them?
No, my brother says we're gonna get the hell out of here. We're not gonna tell him nothing. We have to get the hell out of here because they're going to kill us now. They probably gonna think that we know something what they did to help to kill the Jews.
Which is true. Yeah.
Yeah, they were helping. They were getting paid for it to kill the Jews. So they were afraid that we're going to turn them in to the Russians.
Wow. So what happened?
So we ran out of there as fast as we came.
They let you go. They didn't try to hold you or.
No, we just ran out of there. We got back on the train and we got the hell out of there. We didn't want nothing. We didn't want to see nothing. What we left, nothing.
So your mother did not have time to go and look for the money she buried?
No, we just had to get out of there because we were afraid that those Polacks are going to kill us.
They took your home, so you didn't have time to see your home again?
No.
Everything was taken away. We got nothing, zero, nothing. Everything was taken away from us, and we were lucky we were alive.
Yes, but
we were thankful we survived. Who cared about all that?
Right.
Because we seen all this. There were so many wealthy people there in Sherps, Jewish people, wealthy people. None of them survived. Do you know from the whole city, Robert, how many people survived? We were the only family.
In your town?
Sherps. One family only that survived.
But the whole family survived.
Right.
That us.
But your mother's family did not.
No. And only one boy survived, my cousin Adam, from my mother's side, and one girl survived from a friend's. And that's all from all the Jews survived is 2 people in one family, us, from the whole city. And there were many Jewish people there, and they were very wealthy people. Everyone was killed. No one survived.
It's a miracle. You guys lived.
It's such a miracle that would you believe this? Nobody can believe it. That we were the only family survived.
Boy, if someone asked you, why do you think you survived? Why do you think
God?
What could the answer be?
That God wanted us to survive, and to tell you the story for the new generation, for the children and for the grandchildren, to know what really happened.
That's so important.
And how much we went through in our lives, and we were able to tell now the story. Like you tried to get me to do that, and I wasn't able to do it. I couldn't do it. I wasn't able to do it. Now I'm still shaking and everything, but my daughters are here, my granddaughter is here, and that helps. That helps. I could have never done it without them.
Thank you, daughters.
Yes.
And you were lucky and blessed
so
to have.
important.
She was very lucky and blessed to have a brother. All her brothers were good brothers, but one brother in particular was very aggressive and took a lot of risks. Uncle Sam. And
he's the one that saved our lives.
In the woods.
Yes.
Every move was gone.
They were
right.
I mean,
Sam was brave
exactly.
enough.
One of the brothers, Sam,
he was a hero.
Risk.
He was a hero. He was taking risks, and he was.
But you took risks along.
He was
she
not
was the baby. And
I was a baby.
Followed whatever he told her to do.
So you were how old at that time when you were following the leader?
7, 8.
She was
I
7,
was
8.
8 years old?
9,
Yeah, and he was
10.
13, 14, and whatever decisions he made, the other two siblings...
We followed
He
him.
knew that if they didn't leave,
I only have 1
they were
minute
gonna
left.
die.
He was a hero. My brother Sam was a hero. He was taking chances. He wasn't afraid of anything, anybody.
What a guy!
Except for his wife.
Yeah.
He was really a hero. He saved our lives. Saved my father's life, may he rest in peace. My
And your
father
mother?
and my mother's. Oh my God! My father was older. He couldn't walk and he couldn't move so fast, and we had to run.
How did he even work when he was in Siberia?
My father had to work.
He
They
had
put
to
him.
work?
Yeah, they put everyone to work in order to get the
I think I have to stop. Let's